Gasolene is proudly brought to you by the following sponsors.
Welcome back to Gasolene, viewers. We're at the 2012 Phillip Island Classic. It's an enormous event down here and I'd never miss it. It's a car enthusiast's dream. There's plenty of cars on display and lots of historic racing action. Muscle cars, Formula 5000s, Group C and Group A, you name it, it's here to see. So let's get out amongst it, take a look around. Well, here's an LJXU1 Tirana, folks, with a fair bit of history. This HDT Tirana here. It was made famous with a bit of a drama it had in the 1973 Bathurst race. Basically what happened was Doug Shivers was running this car at the time and it ran out of fuel down Conrod Straight and just pulled into pit lane. It wasn't close enough to get to the pit bay, so he had to physically push the car. He was absolutely exhausted. Peter Brock was absolutely devastated and waiting in anticipation until the car could get past a certain point so that the crew could then legally push it into their pit bay. Anyway, Brock jumped in this car. It was 2 laps down. He worked his butt off to get back up to Moffat and overtake him. 10 laps from the finish of this race, Harry Firth decided to bring this car in for a splash of fuel to make sure they didn't run out like they did before. Anyway, he came in, couldn't quite catch up to Moffat again and lost the race by 86 seconds. Absolutely devastating, but a lot of history in this car. You'll notice with this car, have a look at these giant carburetors. Back in the day, in this particular class, you had to run the original intake manifold. You could run any carburetor you wanted from that period. So what they did was they actually ran 58mm side draft Webers. Absolutely monstrous these things were, but they ran one side of that carb, one choke. It was the perfect size to make optimum power with that intake manifold. Very interesting. These things made about 260 horsepower in the day. John Basso now owns the car and has restored it to its full glory. It's great to see. This car is certainly one very important part of Australian motor racing history. Viewers, you're about to witness one of the most exciting forms of historic racing you're ever likely to see, the Formula 5000. They're an open-wheeler race car starting in 1969, running in Australia up to the early 80s. The deal was this: they're almost like a Formula One chassis of their time in open-wheeler configuration. They had big wings, big slicks, but by the rules they had to run a stock block, commercially available 5-litre V8 engine. Isn't that unreal? Muscle car engine and a Formula One car of the period. Imagine that. They made around about 500 horsepower and turned to 8,000 RPM. In a car that weighs around 600 to 700 kilograms, that gives it a power to weight ratio of over 1,000 horsepower and your average family sedan. So sit tight, viewers. You're going to love this one.
Don't forget, viewers, to look up the all-new Shannons Club. Shannons Club is a huge site. It's like a hub for enthusiasts. You jump on there. You can start your own garage, put pictures of your cars up there, stories of your cars, videos, you name it. You'll see people like myself on there, Jim Richards. Click on our garages and check out some of our machines and some of our past machines. It's an incredible site. It's growing every day, so get onto it and have a ball.
viewers, I've found something very special here, the legendary Bob Jane and his Camaro. It's great to see you down here, Bob. Are you enjoying the weekend?
Great to be here. What a wonderful weekend. 550 cars, fantastic.
And it's great to see your Camaro here, mate. What a weapon this thing is. Did you win the Australian Touring Car Championship? Was it 71, 72?
Yes, 71, 72. Final was at Oran Park. Moffat and Jane battling it out on the points at that end of the year. Was great.
And what sort of engine spec is the car in at the moment? I see she's got a big block in there, mate.
It's gone back to its original specs of the 427 all-alloy Chevy. It's an awesome engine, unbelievable. Noisy, fast and torquey.
And would you have been one of the first to bring this car in this sort of specification over to the country, this type of car?
I think I'm the only one, frankly. There's only 69 made. There should have been 100 made, but I bought two, this one in a drag car, and they're quite unique. I didn't realise it at the time, but they were a unique car.
Well, it's great to see you've still got the car. It's been beautifully restored, Bob, and fantastic to talk to you down here, and I wish you the best for the rest of the weekend, mate.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks.
Not quite got the legs down the long straights, but I think we had 9 RX2s on the line, if I can remember yesterday. So Darren, that's quite a lot of motor cars.
Certainly is. So Humble on the front row of the grid, number 2 alongside Phil Woodbury, the white Mazda 15, then it's Bob Soodle, the blue Mazda number 6.
Well, we're back in the pits with Andrew Williams and his very brisk little XU1 Tirana. How's it going for you, mate?
It's going okay today. Yesterday we had the valve spring break, so we had to replace that last night. Missed the race yesterday afternoon. Started off the back this morning, and what a hoot coming through the field. Fantastic fun.
And tell us a little bit about the power plant under this bonnet, mate.
Well, this is a little 6-cylinder 202, putting out 324 horsepower. So she's a mean little weapon, and she's pretty fast and fun to drive.
Now, I heard it's got a pretty good Aussie 4-speed gearbox in this thing, mate. I hear a bit of a gun at building these things, mate. Tell us a bit about the box.
Yeah, well, the Aussie 4-speed wasn't built for that much power, but so we do quite a few things to change it and keep the box reliable. A bit of cryogenicking and polishing, so and a few other secret changes we do just to hold them together. And and occasionally we do break them because they're old historic cars, but we try to get a good life out of them.
Well, good job, mate. You're not only a good driver, but a good gearbox builder, and you've got a great car here, so have fun for the rest of the weekend.
I will. Thank you very much. Enjoy.
Well, you all know I love my early muscle cars, but I've got to say I'm a bit partial to a modern day muscle car as well. There's some great vehicles coming out of the US. If you go and see Craig Dean at Mustang Motorsport in conjunction with crossover car conversions, there's a whole world of weapons down there for you to test drive and enjoy. You've got all your full range of current modern day Mustangs. You've got Camaros, you've got Dodge Challengers and all those new cars straight out of the US. And don't forget the almighty Shelbys as well. There's some pretty weaponry packages out with those things these days. They are absolutely insane. Supercar performance. So don't forget to pop down and see Craig and enjoy. Well, viewers, don't let anyone tell you that there isn't any old muscle cars floating around in sheds and barns throughout Australia, because I promise you there is. These two XYGTs here are evidence of that. This one here was picked up recently, sitting in someone's backyard. The guys towed it home, and now they own this baby, and they're the happiest men alive. Now, this one here has a very interesting story, this one to my right. It actually belonged to a shearer in outback New South Wales. Back in 1970, decided to buy this car. While all of his mates were buying four-wheel drives to deal with those outback and dusty conditions, he wanted something a little bit different. He chose this colour because it didn't show up the dust. He also wanted to impress the ladies when he was a younger man too, so what a perfect car to do it in, the almighty XYGT. He'd take this thing just about wherever any of those four-wheel drives would go. Used to put a trailer on the back of it, tow cattle around, everything, you name it. For many years, this car did him real well. Until his wife was getting a little bit sick of having to handle the heavy steering, and they decided to retire it and put it away in a shed for 18 years. Now these guys, the current owners, came along and bought this car. They were told the engine was seized. They took it home, took possession of it, checked it out. It turns out there was a leaking wash plug leaking onto the starter, which seized it up through corrosion. So they took the starter out, put a new one in there, took the plug out, put some oil down in the cylinders, turned her over. What do you know? Fresh fuel, and she fired up. So they want to leave this thing as it is to preserve this piece of history. They even drove it here today. It's just so fantastic to see. Well, here we are back at Rocket Industries once again, so let's go inside and take a look around. Well, have a look at what I've found here. There's plenty of car enthusiasts out there that are going to be really interested in this if they need a wiring solution. One of the first things people do when they rebuild a car is they strip it down. They pull the wiring out and they throw it away. They've got to get an auto elec in to rewire that car. You don't need to do that anymore. If you want, you can do it yourself with these painless wiring kits. Check this Ford kit out. It's got everything you could ever imagine. Plug it straight in. Relays, plugs, light globes and sockets, everything. It is all there. And they even do a Holden kit. Unbelievable. But this is the kit I'm interested in for my XYGT HO replica race car. This kit here, this street legal race kit. It's got everything. It's even got a switch panel. It's got everything for fuel pump, electric fan, ignition, accessories, you name it, it's all there. I'm going to have an absolute ball fitting this thing. Have a look at this beautiful fuse panel here. It's got everything in place. Miles of wiring. It's got relays, plugs, crimp terminals, everything. It's all there for you. I'm absolutely ecstatic that I've now found a wiring solution for my Falcon.
Well, look who I've bumped into down here, viewers. It's Eddie Woods from Head Stud Developments. If you want a good cylinder head done, this is your man. I reckon, Eddie, probably about half the field down here would have your cylinder heads on them, mate.
Pretty scary to think of that, but yeah, I think nearly all the Tiranas have got our heads on it. Quite a few of the V8s. Fair bit of other stuff as well, yeah.
Well, I'm proud to say that Project Warhorse's big 4V cylinder heads have been done by you too, mate, and I'm happy to wear them.
Yeah, well, they're going to be a good thing. They've come up very nicely. We're very happy with it, and I'm sure you will be too.
Absolutely, mate. I hear you've been doing a bit of racing down here today. What's going on?
Well, my 2 years came up, and my next door neighbour from Capella Crescent at the Health and Heritage Centre came in and said I probably should borrow one of his cars. So I thought about it for maybe a millisecond and replied yes. So I've been racing his car all weekend, which is an Alpha Streamliner. Absolutely magnificent little car. Just goes where you point it. It's like a go-kart with gears. It's just the most beautiful thing, and I'm very appreciative of Bill for letting me do that.
Fantastic, mate. Well, it's good talking to you, and we look forward to coming down and seeing you in action, doing a bit of porting, bit of cylinder help work down there again, mate. Stay tuned for that one, Gasolene viewers. Look forward to it. Thanks, mate.
Thank you. See ya.
Touring cars, viewers, this is my favourite class by far. That's why I'm building a car for it, Project Warhorse. And I can't wait to get out there amongst these guys. Starting back in the golden era, through the 60s, right through to the cut-off date of December 1972. They've got the muscle cars that we all love. Your Mustangs, your Chargers, your GT Falcons, your XU1 Tiranas, your Camaros, even a Porsche thrown in there. These things are outstanding and awesome to watch. Tyre smoking and sideways action. Sit tight, don't move from your seat. Well, viewers, all good things must come to an end, and the day's over down here at the Phillip Island Classic. It's been an incredible event with some great cars here and some awesome racing action. Anyway, that's it for me today. We'll see you on the next episode of Gasoline. Well, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and remember, Gasoline is made for people just like me and you. car enthusiasts. And to keep the dream alive, we need as many people tuning in as possible. Spread the word. Tell people at car shows. Jump on car forums. Tell your mates. And remember, we're Australia-wide now. So it's 74 Metro and 64 Regional on 4Me. We love doing this show and we need your help to keep it alive. Anyway, I better get back to working on Project Warhorse or she'll never get finished.
Gasoline is proudly brought to you by the following sponsors: